O'Malley versus Merab. And this was for the championship UFC 306, and this was in the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely epic. It was Noche Latina, which is like Mexican Heritage Night,
Yes.
and so they were paying respect and had all kinds of stories. The visuals are absolutely epic. We'll have a video in a second that kind of shows some of that. But yeah, we had a great fight. We watched it with our football analyst, real good underscore Doty, and it was an epic time. But I will say that the last two fights, the main card and the co-main event, that they were kind of let down. So they were just wrestling matches. I know that the two fighters had the ground time, but you don't organize an event in the Sphere to see people win by ground time. You want to see
Facts.
knockouts.
In fact,
You want to see fatalities.
we want to see fatalities. We want to see knockouts. But we got a video right here of basically the spear, the event, how amazing it was. You're gonna see the Mexican artwork. You may find a couple Easter eggs on there. We're gonna tell you how much U.S. Dana White spent, and also what's up for Sugar Shane O'Malley.
Down block. Down block.
I know my neighbors
Sprawl.
He looks so slow.
Sprawl.
and if they think it was bad,
Keep
He's got to
Sprawl
fight.
back
He's
up.
fought.
why do they see me now?
Well, boys, we did get the job done. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. Over promised, under delivered. This one fucking stings. Enjoying the family, enjoying the friends, enjoying life. We'll be back. Appreciate you guys.
So man, I mean, this fight right here, it was crazy. So Sugar Shane hasn't lost since UFC 252 when he lost to Marlon Vera in TKO. He's been on an undefeated streak right there since then, 7 straight fights, winning.
And he said not undefeated anymore, even though that he did have one
He already
loss.
had
He
one
never
loss.
counted it because he had like a pinched nerve in his foot, and instead of ruling it like a no contest, they just said that like he just took the loss. Because sometimes they do it where it's like a no contest and it doesn't count if a weird injury happens, and sometimes no, like the dude takes the loss.
Yeah, that's
It's kind of weird how that goes.
It is kind of weird how it goes, but I mean, with this whole fight with Merab, it was just crazy. I mean, when Merab came in, he was just I mean, before the fight even happened, everybody I thought Sugar Shane was gonna win. Everybody was saying Shane was gonna win, but I didn't know Merab was so good at wrestling. Like he just was tossing O'Malley like a rag doll. Then if he wasn't tossing him, he was holding him, hitting him with the strong like donkey kicks to the thigh.
He was kneeing his side the whole time when he had ground control. It seemed like he was just getting every time he would shoot. Like he would, or at least every other time he would shoot, he would end up getting him on a takedown, and then he would, do the ground control, and then he did that one part where he was
Caught him in a
leaning on him.
guillotine chokehold and
Yeah,
kissed him in the back.
and kissed him, and then he let him go, and there was still time left, and then O'Malley came and punched him, and then the ref's like, "That's your fault.
You gotta
You
stay
let him
ready and on
go.
point."
You got to protect yourself at all times."
Facts. I mean, and with this fight, I mean, it was at first I was mad about it. I was like, man, I don't want to see people just hug all day. Like, I hate seeing those kind of fighting matches, especially like in the boxing, those Floyd Mayweather fights, or like those Devin Haney fights, where like there's no action at all. I want to see you get it on. I want to see it be like one of the fights in the main card that started like the first 2-3 fights of the girl that had a whole face gust open. I'm trying to see stuff like that. Like,
Yeah. Some of the earlier fights were pretty epic. We're newer to UFC. We're not UFC diehards, but we've been watching more and more fights. And they had two guys earlier. I don't know if they were like the first fight of the main card or the last fight of the prelims.
I think you can rewind the.
Let me see.
See if you can rewind that little photo right there.
Oh yeah. It was that. It's hard to read. It's
Rodriguez and
No. This was a fight where those dudes like fought to the death. Was that Zeliber versus Ribovics? Sorry, it's hard to read from the screen. It's small. But yeah, that was a truly epic fight. And then Ortega versus Lopez was a pretty good fight. Both of those were good fights. Lopez got hit in the neck, and it was funny. They showed he like punched Ortega, and it was like he knocked him out, and then when he punched him again,
Oh,
he like woke him back
and
up.
the first fight on the main card, that one right there, that was a good fight. 'Cause remember, at first that was the dude with I think I forgot what the next one over. I think that's the black dude. He fell on the ground, and then like the dude started ground and pounding him real bad. He thought he was gonna lose, and then he flipped around, and then I think he reversed it. That was real good.
Oh yeah,
Also,
oh yeah. The crazy fight where the girl got cut. Well, that was the last fight of the prelims.
early prelims, yep. So I mean,
Man, it's crazy that we unfortunately we didn't get there early enough to see what is that
Rosa Jr.
yeah him fight. But yeah, they
He's
gave
pretty
him the
good.
earliest fight.
Get it over with, man. You got kids to take care of.
Early prelims and prelims, like he's literally the only fight in the early prelims.
Exactly. I mean, but we just want to thank Dana White, man. Dana White's been talking about this for a while. He's been working on the spear. He said he first had the idea when he was with Tom Brady at a U2 concert, and then from there, that's when the $20 million budget just became to happen. They said 16,000, 24 people showed up. Showed up to the event. It was big. It was amazing. They had artwork going around everywhere. They said in the stories they were showing, the video they were showing throughout the spear was basically telling the Mexican love story. And that he also hit 6 Easter eggs throughout the whole video. So if you came to him at the end of the day and told about the 6 Easter eggs, you would have won $25K. But ain't nobody won it. I would have lost it too. I don't even be paying attention to stuff like that.
When it's like, what's an Easter egg? Like an Easter egg could literally be anything.
Yeah, true.
So you gotta give a hint, like what type of Easter egg.
Unless it
you're
actually
looking
is an Easter egg.
for. Yeah,
That'd be dumb.
that would be stupid. That means he's old and doesn't understand it.
Oh man, but I mean, it was an epic fight. I mean, I loved it. UFC, it was a big epic event.
306.
I mean, O'Malley won't be fighting for that. O'Malley hopped on. I forgot what's the name. His name is Timbo Sugar's show, and said that he's gonna be taking a break right now, so he won't be coming
Probably
back
won't fight for a year.
at least a year, the 2025. So we gonna see who he fights next. He don't even know who he's gonna fight next. Yeah, I need
So
to,
ever Dana White decides, because he'll have to probably just fight one of the contenders.
true, and that's what he said. All he has to do in order to get the bantamweight championship back is fight another fighter. You then get it back, and then fight another fighter. Then get his fight with the champion
With Merab.
with Merab. Or I mean, because I don't think he had a rematch clause. Usually they have a rematch clause, but I don't think he had
No,
one.
they
In it.
don't. They don't. They say they don't do that in UFC. Boxing, they'll do that in their contract, but Dana White is like the dictator of UFC, so he chooses to fight. So
Are you
you're not guaranteed a rematch.
are you
ever.
surprised it was a unanimous decision?
No, I mean, because like we said, we prefer striking. We want to see people get knocked out, or if they get like get put out in a hold, like an
Facts.
armbar, or choke them out or whatever. But just to wrestle and win off of ground time is kind of cheap. I think if you should only be allowed a certain amount of time to work on ground time, and if it's like a minute and you haven't gotten them any hold, or you haven't ground and pounded them to where they're like giving up in a minute, that you should be reset,
Yeah.
because no one wants to see like no action where they're doing it. I think the ref warned Merab about that. Like, you got to see work. You can't just lay on him and win off of ground time. But he was actually working pretty good and trying.
He was aggressive,
He
yeah.
was kneeing Sean the whole time, so he probably got in like 100 knees.
But his nose was messed up. I don't know if his nose was messed up because of the fight. His nose was always messed up before.
Well, yeah, I think he has a messed up nose, but I think he caught
The knee to the face.
yeah, he caught a knee to the face and a couple punches. So
He could take a hit.
it looks like it's almost like the things like if you've broken your nose so many times, it might be easy to break it again. So he might have caught him with a knee or a fist and just re-broke his like fragile nose.
Oh.
So but like Sean didn't get messed up at all. He didn't get injured at all.
Nope.
Merab almost had him in a headlock a couple times. Sean almost had him in a couple holds a couple times as well. He got a couple sternum kicks with the front leg kick at the end of the match. that made Merab run for a little bit, but then eventually Sean ended up on his back, which is a bad look for a round to end. But he did lose what? They said like 1 point. It was 3 rounds to 2 rounds?
Yep.
3 to 2 rounds. The majority
Except
of
for
the
that one
judges
person
ruled.
that judged like 3 points. I think he was like 3 points off. That one ref.
Yeah. 2 of the judges scored it a 1 point victory. And, basically the rounds being 9-10, 3-2 in Merab's favor. So just being like a barely win victory. And the other judge had it like by 3 points.
Hater.
So
He's paid off.
But yeah, I think like they changed the rules in the NBA where you can't hand check. In the NFL, they have all those rules about protecting the quarterback and making it easier for the receivers. Can't be as physical with them so they can make big plays. I think Dana White needs to look at that at the UFC. I know UFC is like all martial arts, but the fans don't want to see wrestling with no work.
Facts.
I don't mind it if you get someone in there and get them in a crazy position or a hold that makes them tap, and you get because you see sometimes they just jump on them and get them right in a hold, and boom, it's like 10 seconds in and they're already making a person tap. But this whole thing where you're just wrestling or just laying on someone for rounds, I understand why that's frustrating. And you have this big event, the Sphere, on what is it, Noche Latina, and you're trying to do it, and it's like no, it's like you have this big event, and it's like 2 lame main fights. The main card and the co-main event were pretty lame because it was mainly a ground control type matches, which is the most boring. This is basically how people used to complain when the Spurs would be in the NBA Finals. That's basically you got 2 type of Spurs players that won the championship. That we're just gonna win off of fundamentals. We're not flashy. Basically, 2 Tim Duncans.
Nobody wants to see that. I mean, but we gonna see what's going on here, man. Y'all comment down y'all thoughts on the fight, but.